earlier in the offseason, we covered some the top 5 needs for the Las Vegas Raiders. And if we're being honest, a lot of those could be solved through free agency, like defensive tackle, corner, wide receiver, linebacker. Yeah, all those could be solved. And I actually assume that a good portion of them will. I mean, they could bring in guys like Devontae Adams. I think Chris Goodwin, whatever's I can't remember off the top of my head, could be in play here. So there's a lot of different players that they could grab. J.C. Jackson if they want to go that route. B.J. Hill from the Bengals if they want to go defensive tackle route. But as it pertains to the defensive tackle class for the 2022 NFL Draft, I think there's a duo specifically with this draft class that needs to happen. And I got to start by saying I know and I'm perfectly aware that guys like Jordan Davis could be on the board for you at 22, but I doubt it. I really doubt it. Also, guys like Devontae Wyatt, you love it, but I think there are 2 players that if the Raiders go ahead and in the first round they draft a corner, wide receiver, whatever it is, if they find themselves in the second round or third round and wanting to double down on some defensive linemen, I think there's 2. There's 2 that I think immediately the Las Vegas Raiders need to make happen, because one of these guys, you like the consolation prize, but both of these guys as potential future starting defensive linemen for you in the middle, oh boy, you love it. You love it. So we'll go ahead and start by talking about these boys now finally. So the first defensive tackle, the first one that I think they really need to take a serious look at is Perrian Winfrey, defensive tackle out of Oklahoma. Now, he spent some time at a junior college before making his way over to Oklahoma, but make no mistake, as soon as he got on campus, boy, did he make plays. He's my biggest draft crush of this entire draft class. The man is a stud. I know we preach about watching the tape. Watch any amount of Senior Bowl footage with him on the field, and you'll know what I mean. This man it's not even just the fact that he can get after it in the pass game. It's not even just the fact that he can hold his own in the run game. It's the fact that he makes plays at every level, whether it's fundamentally stripping the ball out or just being disruptive on defense. Perrian Winfrey needs to be high on the Las Vegas Raiders draft list. And again, I'm perfectly aware that there's a lot of other players in this draft class that could be looked at, but Perrian Winfrey, he needs to be up here on their draft board. I fully understand, there's some things that both of these players need to work on. I understand that, but Perrian Winfrey, he's a difference maker at every level of the word. So if we'll just take a look here, his first year, 9 games, had a total of 17 tackles, 5.5 tackles for loss, half a sack. Then came back his senior year and boom, 11 games, 23 tackles, 11 tackles for loss, 5.5 sacks. And the thing is, that 5.5 is impressive because again, he's playing defensive tackle, so it's a lot harder to get pressure on the inside, especially when you're dealing with double teams. A lot of different blocking concepts that try to take out the middle of it. But again, he is a game wrecker in every sense of the word. He is an absolute stud, and I think that the Raiders need to put a serious premium on Perrian Winfrey, and need to make sure that if they don't come away with a whole lot, they need to make sure. I think Perrian Winfrey, just getting him in the draft would be a huge win. Now again, there's some things I would like to see. I think he has really good hand usage, but I would really like to see him just specifically at the point of attack. Like, don't confuse with what I'm saying. What I'm saying is he's one of the strongest players in this draft class. Like, he just pushes people back. But I think sometimes, there's such a thing as being able to rely too much on natural strength, and I don't think that'll fly in the NFL. But Perrian Winfrey, if he can add a couple more tools, but he actually showed a lot of pass rush moves, like the stab and the spin move in the Senior Bowl, especially on one-on-one drills. Also showed some great counter moves as well, and obviously at the point of attack, he's got all the strength in the world. But again, at the NFL level, I don't know how well that's going to fly, specifically just relying on pure strength, because everybody in the NFL benches 500 pounds at that point. So I think at this point, Perrian Winfrey, the biggest thing he needs to work on, obviously, is some technique things, which you can coach, but you can't coach the impact and the effort. He's a great effort player too. Never gives up. Usually those defensive tackles you see kind of lagging behind. Not Perrian Winfrey. He's coming. He's going to bring some steam with him too. So I'm really excited for Perrian Winfrey. I think he needs to be really high on pretty much everybody's draft board, not just the Las Vegas Raiders. But that's the first defensive tackle that we really think needs to be in serious conversation. The second defensive tackle that I think that you combine these two right here, Noah Ellis. Now, the thing about Noah Ellis is this. Not a ton of college production. In fact, I've searched everywhere. There's just not a lot. I think the man just he didn't have a ton of production, but I will say at the end of the day, when you were looking at a guy like Noah Ellis and want to know what kind of an impact he brings, it's just he is the next Linval Joseph. I know that's not necessarily, how do I put this? It's not necessarily out there in terms of praising a guy too highly, because this man is 6'4", 366 pounds, and just gets after it. You love it. Okay, so obviously you think of a guy at 6'4", 360, you're thinking, okay, he's probably going to be that guy that in a way finds his way in most of the to have most of his impact in the run game. And to a degree, that's true. If you just watch any tape or any amount of tape on this man, he imposes his will on opposing offensive element. He takes up double teams. The linebackers behind him have a lot more free ranging space because of just his impact of taking up blockers. It's not even just the fact that he takes up blockers. He uses his hands very well at the point of attack. He's very good at setting getting his first step in place, getting his hands on a man, and then finding a way to control his man, and that will later impact the rest of the play. That's just what he does. He immediately shocks his defender with his strength and with his presence, and then he's able to shed and also run sideline to sideline and make plays, which is surprising for a man at his size. So again, I think, it didn't find a ton of college production in that regard, but I think, and also, if the name Ellis sounds familiar, it's because, he's the son of Luther Ellis. Ring any bells? What is he, like a first-round draft pick for the Lions back in the day? So, it's in his blood. He's just a bully up front, and I think that's exactly what you need from a guy like him. Now, again, is there things to work on? Yes. I think, when you try to impose your will, especially with a person of his size, your pads get a little high, and I think that's what, is kind of tough, because if you have to take out double teams, you need to stay low and make sure that you're keeping those feet driving, because if you're too high, the low man wins in football. Everybody knows that. So I think also what would help him out is developing some more pass rush moves. He's got a mean bull rush, but after that, after you see, especially on tape, after he gets to the level of the quarterback, there's not a whole lot there. So I think if they can make sure that they really work on him with his hand usage and help him develop some more moves, oh baby, this defensive tackle duo is huge, because on one end you've got a nose or a zero tech or a one tech, whatever, that can play that, take up double teams, control the line of scrimmage type of defensive tackle. And on the other end, Perrian Winfrey, the faster, imposing his will in terms of the pass rush. Now, Perrian Winfrey, again, I think he's not a liability in the run game by any means, but what he brings in the pass game is it's incredible. So if you can combine both of those, I think this is the duo that needs to happen, because this will be the duo that controls the line of scrimmage for years for the Raiders. If you get these two guys, and Perrian Winfrey's probably going to be rising up draft boards, probably in that second round. I would say, early second round, late second round, probably is where you're going to get him. Maybe early third, doubt it. I don't think he falls that far, but Noah Ellis, I think a lot of teams are kind of sleeping on him. If the Raiders do their homework and just find him as a player that they can develop, and again, I don't know necessarily that Ellis or Winfrey, for that matter, will start right away, but you want to talk about getting guys in, developing guys for the future as well, and they can contribute right now too. I absolutely believe they can, and come in right away and do some dangerous things. So if you can get these two guys in right away, and just get them on the field as early as possible, just start developing their moves, baby, this is gonna be nasty. This is the defensive tackle duo right here. Perrian Winfrey and Noah Ellis. That needs to happen. It's got the best of both worlds. You got the meat, you got the speed, you love it. You just love it. It's got to be the defensive tackle duo that happens, especially for the Las Vegas Raiders, if they want to develop that wall up front, like I know they can. But let us know what you guys think. Make sure you guys like and subscribe down below. Leave a like and a comment. It helps people find the show. We greatly appreciate all the support that we've gotten and continue to get. You guys are all truthfully awesome. We love every single one of you. In the description down below, you find all of our social media platforms, so give us a like and a follow there. Also in the description, you'll find our link to our iTunes. Make sure you guys give us a listen and sub on iTunes. And finally, if you have anything else you'd like us to cover, send us an email at thesportsbp@yahoo.com or put in the comment section down below, and we would love to cover it. But let us know what you guys think about the defensive tackle duo between Perrian Winfrey and Noah Ellis that needs to happen for the Las Vegas Raiders.